Dear colleague Giora Salz, dear friends of the Upper Galilee. 2020 was my first year as president of Ludwigsburg County, succeeding Dr. Rainer Haas. Unfortunately, this former year was overshadowed with the coronavirus. There were several lockdowns in Israel as well as in Germany. COVID cases in both countries are still on high levels. COVID-19 is also the reason why I haven't been able to realize my inaugural visit to the Upper Galilee in 2020. Both the planned date in July as well as the alternative date in October could not be met. I deeply regret that fact, but health comes first for all of us. Even more, I am looking forward to hopefully making up for my visit and getting to know Upper Galilee region in 2021. Our friendship already exists since 1983 and was officially sealed with partnership documents in 1997. It all started almost 4 decades ago with the idea of Dr. Hartmann, Avram Broshi and Ludwig Beetz. In the meantime, we can look back on many joint activities, projects and mutual visits. That's what I'm very proud of and what fills me with great joy. A special focus in our relationship is on the youth. Over the years, 5 school partnerships have been established between our regions. Just last year I was able to sign another one. The mutual school exchanges are also a main reason why our partnership is so lively. I am very pleased that the schools have continued to maintain contact in various ways despite these difficult times. It shows how strong our bonds are. At the teacher courses, the participating teachers receive new impetus for the organization of the exchanges, the development of common topics as well as the reappraisal of the common history. The common history is also a reason why we are coming together digitally today. January 27 is the International Holocaust Remembrance Day. It is the 76th anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz death camp. On this Remembrance Day, our thoughts are with our friends in Upper Galilee. It is utmost important to keep the memory vivid so that this cruel chapter of German history is not repeated. It should also be preserved for following generations. That's exactly why we attach great importance to historical understanding and the exchange between young people on both sides. There are fewer and fewer contemporary witnesses who can report from this period. However, remembrance should not be limited on this one day, but should be present repeatedly. There are good examples of this in Ludwigsburg County. No place in our county is as closely connected with Jewish history as Freudenthal. The Pädagogisch-Kulturelle Zentrum Freudenthal is a valuable institution in our county, of which I am second chairman. The county of Ludwigsburg has been supporting the PKC since the beginning, and we work closely together on many projects. Last year, despite Corona, a milestone was realized. The extension building was opened in July. In the new and modern course room, the PKC's learning opportunities for the numerous visitor groups can now be realized much better. I am already looking forward to visiting the new rooms with the next group of visitors from Upper Galilee. Today, on this special Remembrance Day, we would like to express our unity with our friends from Upper Galilee and Israel. If it is possible again at the end of this year to organize the traditional Spätlingsmarkt, I would, of course, be glad about your participation and your visit. Now, we are all looking forward to this year with hope and keeping our fingers crossed that our encounters can take place. I greet you all in deep and heartfelt solidarity.
Dear friends and partners, I'm saying friends, although I didn't meet some of you. But I think that I can say friends because we are sharing the same vision. I'm saying partners, although I didn't ask your permission, because I think we are sharing the same mission. HaShoah, the Holocaust, took place more than 80 years ago. It was a mega event. It has its own influence all around the world on the Jewish people, and actually it is one of the chromosomes of the DNA of the Israeli state. Having said that, not many people anymore are really remembering the Holocaust, the smell, the sights, and the voices. So it makes even more important for us to find a meaning, not just to remember. To say never again it's important, but it's not enough. We should give meaning to the Holocaust. We should find ways to educate our kids, our students, our friends, to take a lesson from the Holocaust, HaShoah. So out of many, I would like to share two of the important things that I myself try to educate and to live my life according to them. The first one, which is maybe not so comfortable to hear or to understand, but we have to remember that those people that took place in those events, those people that ignore, although they knew what is happening, were people like me, like you. So the lesson is that each one of us lie a beast or a monster, and we should try to find the right way to control this beast, this monster. The second lesson is about the importance of democracy, about understanding the real meaning of democracy. On the other hand of the democracy, there is a danger that can come out from one person, a man or a woman, that's with charismatic and skills, know how to use the most lowest emotions of the people to convince them to follow him and to do things that they are not allowed to do. And this power of one man, which is so dangerous, we might say that it won't happen today, on those days. But just remember January 6, 2021, the Capitol Hill. Yes, one man that knows how to use those feelings, this frustration, this anger, can make people follow him to do the worst things that can be done between people. So those are two of my lessons, and I think that this project, and I think the partnership between our two communities, this is the mission, this is the vision, to try to take out lessons from the Holocaust, from the Shoah, and to educate kids and students according to those lessons. I would like to say thank you to Claudia, to Dr. Rainer Haas, my partner, my ex-partner, I would say, and special thanks to you, Mr. Elgeyer, that you took this position and smoothly understand that's how important it is and put those energy to continue and the commitment to continue this project. On a personal note, I would like to emphasize what drives me to deal the Holocaust this way. This is a kind of commitment to the Holocaust survivors, which I prefer to call them Holocaust winners. This is the right phrase that I would like us to use, Holocaust winners. And my father, Peter, was one of them, with some other millions around the world, that after the Holocaust, built their families, built their houses, built in my father's position, the state of Israel, and the place that I am living in. So thank you very much for taking a part in this project. And I do hope that this partnership will provide all of us the opportunity to take something good out of these horrifying events of the Holocaust, of the Shoah, and really make our kids, ourselves, a better people. Makes the world a better place to live in. Thank you very much. Danke schön.
I'm David Ben Shalom, a member of Kibbutz Amir. Some of you met me a year ago when we were meeting at the Regional Council of Galilee in Kiryat Shmona. And I don't know how many of you will have to hear me once more. Hopefully, I will repeat myself clearly as I have done in the past. I am 86 years old, born in Poland, in a small city not far from Warsaw. The name of the city is Otwock. By the way, my Polish name previously was Młotek. And I will try to bring you back some 70 odd years back to my personal story. And I have to add to it, it's not my personal story, it's the story of my brother and my sister, who have 3 children that remain alive, and my story is their story. So I will later on go on in details.
Whenever it comes to the 27th of January, I sleep worse, I feel some tension inside. I'm just not as relaxed as I'm usually are. And the reason is obvious. I cannot escape anymore. I have to face the Shoah. And to face the Shoah is really hard for all of us, because basically it means that the concept of humanity failed in these days. But then it comes in mind that the 27th of January also is the day of the liberation of Auschwitz. And this at least gives me some hope, because it means that there is something beyond, that we as human beings can make the decision that we want to live a different life, that we want to contribute. And for me, it's important to remember what Mr. Giora Salz in one of his thoughtful speeches mentioned. He mentioned that we all have this beast within ourselves. So this beast of anti-humanity, let's say. the message is we have to deal with this beast. And how can we do this? One way of dealing with it could be that we nourish in each situation we experience the good part within ourselves, the part who see diversity as something good, the part of ourselves who want to contribute to a better future, to a better understanding between people. This part we should nourish. And this is just a decision we have to make in a general way for our life, but also every single day. And I'm so grateful from the bottom of my heart that with our project we do to bring 15 schools from Baden-Württemberg and from Upper Galilee together, that this project is also the decision to contribute to a better understanding between people. So yes, we bring 15 principals, many teachers and even more students together to share what they think about all those topics and issues. They can discuss, they can have a dialogue, they can talk about what the Shoah means today to us, the pain, the grief, and also the message. What have we learned about it? How do we want to create the better future? What can we contribute? This is the main point for me. So let's end with a great thank you to Gadi, to Daphna, to those two people who are the soul and the heart of our project, and to Mr. Giora Salz, who makes it possible that it comes to life. So it's really worth that we go for this. And I'm really looking forward to what we can experience together. Thank you so much.
Dear friends, dear colleagues, here in the Upper Galilee and in Ludwigsburg, dear Giora, Idit, Daphna, Nat, and all the principals of the high schools here in the Upper Galilee, dear Mr. Allgeier and Dr. Haas, and all the principals of the schools in Ludwigsburg, dear Claudia and your staff in the Ministry of Education in Stuttgart, and all the principals in Stuttgart district and Baden-Württemberg that take part in our project this year. It's a very complicated day for me, but I think for everybody. And I am not sure I can find the right words to express my inner feelings. I was born in Israel, and when I was a child, I found out that both my parents were prisoners in Auschwitz when they were 15 years old. I also recognized the tattooed number on my mother's hand. So every glance, every look was like a memorial day for me since then. In 1989, I took part in a delegation to Poland and we visited Auschwitz as well. And I remember myself standing in between the two barracks of my parents. On one hand, I could see the barrack of my father. On the other hand, I could see the barrack of my mother. It was a shaky situation, shaky moment for me. 10 years later, I discovered the book written by Professor Josef Soibart, the historian. It's called Von Auschwitz nach Calw. He wrote about the death march that my mother and her sister Marion participated together with 200 Hungarian women. Katzetnik wrote that Auschwitz was not created by God or by devil, but by humans. In 1966, Theodor Adorno wrote an article, Education After Auschwitz. And he said that the premier demand upon all education is that Auschwitz not happen again. And I think together, in Israel and in Germany and many other places, we can collaborate and we can do our best to prevent anti-Semitism, racism, discrimination, cruelty, hatred. And I would like to read the first and the last part of the poetry of Szymborska, Hatred. See how efficient it still is, how it keeps itself in shape, our centuries' hatred, how easily it vaults the tallest obstacles, how rapidly it pounces, tracks us down. It's always ready for new challenges. If it has to wait a while, it will. They say it's blind. Blind. It has sniper's keen sight and gazes unflinchingly at the future, as only it can. And I believe we can do our best with many efforts and face this phenomenon of anti-Semitism and racism. And as Janusz Korczak said, fixing the world means fixing education. I believe that it's our mission as individuals, as a society, as educators. Thank you.